Hello everyone, welcome back to another AWS episode. Today I'm going to teach you about budgets and uh, identity access management in AWS. All right, first thing, let's log on to our root user for the AWS console. I gave my email address here, and next thing you say next, and we provide the password and say sign in. Okay, now you can see that there are some icons here in the panel. We can search for services here and even click on them by clicking on this and selecting it from here. And here we can choose the shell platform, here the notifications, and here the controls. And here we have our regions and availability zones. Okay, then here we have our name, and here we can go to billing and cost management. What's there in billing and cost management? Here, when this loads, we can say bills. And when we go to bills, we can see the amount of bills listed for all our services. Actually, I haven't done much things in AWS in this account, so I don't get a list of bills for my services. Remember that you will get a list of bills here for your usage of your services in your AWS. Okay, next thing, we have the service quotas here. What does the service quotas do? The service quotas help us to increase our performance in the services given by AWS for free. We can ask AWS to do work for us and increase our service quotas in our AWS account here. It works like this. It gives us benefits and features that are extraordinary. Okay, and now let's go for billing and cost management once again. And here after that, we'll go down here, and now we'll see how to make a budget in AWS. So here we click budgets, and we get this console like this, and we can make a budget of our choice. If only we have to do is click on create a budget like in here. When we do that, we can select the budget setup. We can use a template, simplified, or custom advanced. Using a template, by using a template, we can provide new zero spend budgets, monthly cost budgets, daily savings, and daily reservation budgets. And give a budget name and give an email recipient and say create a budget. You can try that, but we are now going to use the customized budget setup. So we click on this, and there are 5 steps. So here for the budget setup, we use customize, and we'll choose budget type as cost budget recommended, and then we'll say next. After that, we are in the step 2 of our budget. So here we'll give a budget name. I'll give this as budget KM, and after that, we can choose our budget amount daily, monthly, quarterly, or annually. For daily, we can get a daily budget. Monthly, we can get our budget after 1 month, and for quarterly, in weeks, and for annually in years. We can choose the start month as January 2024, which is the year which I'm recording this video. And after that, the budgeting method can be given as fixed, planned, or auto adjusting, and you can enter your budgeted amount. So we'll say $80 for that. And the next thing, we'll choose our scope options as all AWS services. And then for aggregate cost, we can choose these things. These are not much recommended, but we can choose them. And next, we can press next after that. So Now we are in step 3 of the budget setup. So here for configure alerts, we can give a alert threshold. Only thing we have to do is press on add an alert threshold. Here we can say we can provide a threshold to trigger our budget and alert us by giving notifications when it reaches a percentage of our budget. We say 10% here, and for the trigger actual, and for email recipients, we'll give a email address that will know for them to notify us when the budget amount is increased till the alert should be appeared. So here we say we'll give our email address. I'll give my email address as this, and next thing is say next, and now we are in step 5. Here we'll all things are right, so we'll say next again, and after the review you can check all this and practice all this stuff, and after that you can say create budget. So AWS created a budget for us, like in here you can see the budget amount, forecast, and the current versus budgeted, forecasted versus budgeted. You can see the name and all those stuff. So the budget name is budget KM, and we can get our budget thresholds notifications after 10% of $80 is used in our AWS services. All right. You must remember to delete some of these things we practice in our free tier account, because later on we can be charged for our services in AWS after 1 year. So take it as a practice to delete this stuff when you are practicing, and when you don't need it after a while. So here we say delete, and we'll confirm this. So our budget review got deleted. All right. Next thing, let's learn about IAM. What is IAM? We can search it here in the searching platform. You can say IAM, and here we can see IAM, which says manage access to AWS resources. Let's choose this and go forward. Okay. Here, identity and access management, known as IAM, is the service we are now choosing to use. Okay, so in IAM, we have our access managed for user groups, users, roles, and policies, and identity providers likewise. First thing, we'll try to make a user group. For the user group, we can create a group like we made a budget by clicking on this yellow button with the black colored letters, create group. So let's click on this, and we'll give a group name here. We'll give this K. We'll give it something like this, KET. And here for optional things, we can provide these things, and we can choose our permission policies here. There are many permission policies where we can give access to permission policies in AWS. All right. Next thing is say create group. We'll come to policies later on. So here we created a user group first. And let's now create a user by clicking on create user, and we'll give this KL like here, and we can say next. And for the user group, we can select our user group KET, which was provided earlier, and we can say next, and we can say create user. All right, now we've made some user groups and users. Let's check on roles now. In roles, we have our role names, and we can create roles for our services. One of the examples here are AWS service role for support and trusted advisor are given here. We can create our own role by clicking on this and proceeding with the steps. Okay. Next thing, you can see the policies. Policies are something like roles as well. You can create policies for our services in AWS for our services. You can say create policy and uh, choose these services. All right. Now let's see another thing. For user groups, we can select our user group and say you can click on this settings icon here. No, not there. You can click on our group name KET here, and you can see that our username is Cal. I mean, you can go into that, and here we can create we can go to security credentials and say enable control access here, and you can say enable here, and we can set our password as auto-generated password in here, or custom password where we can type our own password, unique password, or we can use auto-generated password here and say apply. So a console password was applied for our username Cal. Console password can be shown by pressing on this, and we can even hide it. Let's copy our password by clicking on these squares here, and we'll copy this and hide again. And one thing before that, we can copy our console sign-in URL from here, and we can go to another web browser. Let's go to Edge. I've already set up the Edge browser. So here we can paste the link and press enter. What will happen? Let's see. All right. So after doing that, we get our account ID or auto field in our AWS sign up place. Sign in IAM user. So here we can do it like that, or we can do it by default. And now let's choose the IAM user we made here, which is KL, and let's try the password here. Sorry about that. Let's check the password again. We'll go back to our Google account and we copy our password. And next thing, we'll paste it here and say sign in. Wow, that's very fascinating, guys. We have just logged in as Cal to our other account, our IAM account. So here, let's try to use a service in Cal. Let's say S3 for something. S3 is a kind of a service. Let's dive into that, and by clicking on this, when we click on this, we get our S3 panel. Because we have permissions for this, we can access our S3 panel, S3 service like this. Let's see another one. We'll check for EC2. It's another service. Let's check it right now. When we go to EC2, we can't use it in here because it's not provided for the user which we made earlier on. All right. Let's go back now to our Google Chrome actual account. Here, we can close this. We can provide a manage console accesses like this. And next thing, let's go to users back again. And you can go to user groups, create a group name. And for permissions, we can go here and we can search for S3 permissions. No, we can say attach policies like in here, and here we can give permissions for S3, full access for S3. You can give it by clicking on this. Let's click it and see what we can see after clicking on it. Okay. So here the policy details are AWS managed, creation time is this, and editor time is this, and ARN is this. You must remember that the ARN is the Amazon resource name. It will be our Amazon resource name for our policy. We can copy it and check it out. Likewise, there are many services. There are many services in AWS. We can like choose some of the services and give separate permissions for them by selecting on them. All right. Next thing, we'll go to roles, and here we can see role names. Likewise, in the IAM dashboard, we can add the MFA root user for our users. We'll talk about that in later videos, and you must remember to check out all the services provided by AWS in the AWS console. You must start practicing on them whenever you want to learn about AWS. All right. Now, we'll go back to the other account. We'll go back to the IAM account we made right before, and let's log out of it. And let's log out of it, and let's press on sign in the console like this. So here you can use IAM username and password like this by providing the account ID. And next thing, let's go back to the Google browser, and here we'll delete our user group now because we don't need it again. We can confirm it by typing this KET, the name, and deleting it. So likewise, the group got deleted, and we'll do the same for the user. We'll go there and say delete, and we'll say cal. Remember that when delete confirming, we can provide our names that needs to be deleted and press on deleted user. We can't delete it because it's used by a group. Actually, this happens because this is something very wrong. We deleted our user group before deleting the user. That's the reason this can't be deleted. So what we can do is can dive into this, and we can check on the user groups, and we can click on this, and we can remove it by pressing this. Likewise, actually there's some problem. Let's see, the user group is deleted. We can try to delete our user by pressing on this and pressing these things. Let's see, the user cal got deleted right now. All right. So in IAM, or Identity Access Management of AWS, we learned about groups, users, user groups, users, roles, and policies. We must dive into policies and learn how to make policies in AWS. That will be another lesson in the future. And before wrapping things up, I'll show you how to make a user group and a user again. Okay. Here we can go to the user group, and we can say create group, and here we can give a name. You say group, and we can choose the permission list. You see, say S3, and we'll select S3 full access, and we'll say create group. Now, row was created. Next thing, we'll go to users, and here we'll create a user called grr, something like that. And we say next, and here we'll give the group user group and say next, and you say create user. All right, now grr was created. We can dive into it, and here we can go to security credentials, and here you can say enable control access and enable it, and choose the auto generate password and say apply. Now we can copy this sign in URL and go back to the Edge browser and paste it and press enter. And we can provide the IAM username grr, and I can't remember the password. Let's check it out. Now here we can copy the password, and we can go back to the Edge server and Edge browser and press password and say sign in. All right, now we entered the grr AWS IAM account. Here, let's search for S3 now. And we can see S3. Let's dive into it. And now we can use S3 in this IAM account. Remember, you must always make accounts with permissions given for them. Because if you give all the permissions for some people in your IAM accounts, you'll give them the whole account, so it can be hacked by them. So remember to share the permissions wisely when you are giving permissions to other people in your organization or your personal friends and all that use your AWS account. All right, let's go back to our Google account, and here we'll close this, and let's go to users now, and let's delete a grr. We'll say grrr and delete user. Grr got deleted, and we'll say do the same for grr, and we delete this by clicking on this. Now we've deleted grr and group. Next thing, can go back to the browser, and we'll refresh this page, and now you can see that the IAM user has been deleted all from the AWS account provided for me. You can make IAM users just like that. All right. Next thing, let's go back to Google Chrome, and here you must remember how to use the Identity Access Management or IAM, like how I showed you to use it. You can use policies, roles, users, and user groups, and other things which are in here. Okay, so today we learned about how to make a budget and IAM in AWS, and so I think it must have been a very refreshing lesson for y'all. So I'm very glad for doing this for you today, and I'll see you in another session, another day about AWS S3 later on, like next week. So here I say bye to you, and goodbye everyone, and take care.